realize that people keep conflicting and trying to say, well, one minute they're for it, the next minute they change and do a 360, and they're like, wait a minute.
Tom was just discussing, the original citation from the Historical Society and some of the issues that started to happen. How did you, Judge, come into this and come to be involved with this?
Well, to make a long story short, my family and I knew the Reed family back when we were kids. We were all from the same neck of the woods. And what was really unique about the story is when I had finally realized there was a monument, or what we call memorial, put on the site of the UFO incident, I realized that the name of the person behind it was somebody that I had known. And being a historian, and I like to preserve history, I decided.
So
Go ahead.
And when you got involved, what did that entail from your? Did you come into this first as a historian, or first from a legal perspective?
First as a historian, and then, of course, in the legal perspective to point out some things that very at this point are very suspicious going on down there.
And what is that suspicion? What is it that that you feel is happening?
Well, we all have come to the conclusion that, number one, the property is owned by a gentleman named Lou, which is private property, but the legal legalities are the fact that 20 years ago, Sheffield gave up the right of passage on that bridge, which means they can't service it or take care of it, and it's on Lewis's property, which means that it's his property, and he can basically put whatever type of wants there. And what has happened is they are playing this, what I call rigmarole, and looking at how they're playing it, it looks like that they're really trying to destroy it versus not really trying to, work with him on this thing.
And from your perspective and from the work that you've done on this, what would be the reason for that? What do you see as being their ulterior motive?
Well, without saying who I know them personally, I'll have to say legalities, the maneuvering that they're doing is not something normal. If something like this were to come into my court, for instance, and I had the facts and the papers and I have, and how it's become such a historical interest, and realize that people keep conflicting and trying to say, well, one minute they're for it, the next minute they change and do a 360, and they're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Why is it? So I've decided that they were trying to, at some point, knock the documents for Tom, which we have verified they are real.
So there's this letter from the Historical Society, there's a proclamation from the governor, and now those have been sealed?
No, not a proclamation, it's a citation.
A citation,
They
I'm sorry.
have been sealed and notarized by me as being effective. Now, you're not referring to sealed as being closed.
No, I mean sealed as in like they have your official stamp on them. You can see them on the website, on Tom's website, and on UFOMonumentPark.com. You can see they have your official seal on them. So that's you don't just stamp that on anything. You make sure that that's something that is worthy of putting your name to.
Oh, absolutely. You don't document anything that you don't have the proof to back it, because that's putting your respect out there, your name out front, and it would hurt you. But I've researched this incident, and I do know Reed family, and I do know what's going on over there. There's people involved with this, such as, I'm sure you've heard of WSBS Radio. They were the original ones that reported this almost 50 years ago.
So, I mean, I just look at this and I see this this backpedaling from the Historical Society. I see this, all this stuff that's going on, this rigmarole, as you put it, and I start to wonder if there isn't some sort of influence coming from somewhere. If there isn't somebody somewhere with far more power than the Historical Society saying, this is not something that we want to have happen.
There is somebody who's, I can say their name, but I'm sure Tom has explained it to you. I personally see from her I consider them very unfair. And I think seems to think that the power that's invested her as I think she's called the city manager gives her the right to do whatever she wants and to bypass actual law. And even though it's Massachusetts that this is happening, I would have to say any magistrate in his right mind saw the facts and saw what she was doing, at the very least, to put her in contempt.
So, Judge Titus, this is something that you think that Tom has a clear legal challenge to say, you know, this was going forward, this was something that was planned out, and to now try to throw the monkey wrench into it that they are is actually what would actually be the constitutional issue here?
Well, I from what I've seen of the bylaws, let's say, I will have to say, number one, Sheffield is in violation of, one, letting her even basically saying anything or getting involved. Two, the laws were very clear. 20 years ago, shut off the right of way to that area, and they don't maintain it. So if there's an emergency needed, the police or fire department can go across that bridge to help. Versa, Lewis can't get any action or help from his end. So basically, that area is his private property. It has also been stated on the document, Sheffield, that they have recognized that is his property and that they would have no further interference with it. See all this, you kind of figure, hey, what's going on here? Why?
Right. This is going beyond just trying to do a 360 on the idea of a UFO monument park. This is something that is infringing on the rights of a private citizen.